Hi, I'm Phylum and welcome to my last show for 2020, or the last video that I'm recording. I thought it would be good to finally show my face. I don't know how the camera quality is going to look here, but I haven't shown my face all year, so here I am to talk about what happened in Diabotical Season 1, what's coming in Season 2, and just generally to wrap up my year in Arena FPS in general, and to thank a few people for making this year really great. So Diabotical probably didn't have the launch that lots of us were hoping for. There were lots of issues at launch, okay? There were bugs and technical problems, there were some performance issues for some people, there were some netcode issues, the modes were a bit iffy. Wipeout is pretty good, but kind of lacks an objective. MacGuffin is polarizing at best, and Extinction feels a lot like a stopgap measure, and then the queue situation on top of that was exasperated it even more. There were 90 placement games you had to play to get ranked in every mode. It was pretty excessive. And overall, I think it's safe to say, and a really common criticism I heard from people, especially people who preferred Quake Champions, was that the game just lacked oomph, right? It lacked a certain impact. And I have to agree, firing rockets isn't quite as meaty as it feels in a game like Quake Life. So what was my takeaway from the launch? Well, I acknowledge there were issues, but I thought the game was really fun, and it's been the main game I've played. It has devoured pretty much all of my gaming time, except for when Spelunky 2 launched, for the second half of this year. It's been amazing, right? I've had so many, hundreds, if not thousands, of really fun, really competitive games. I think it's hit a really good balance between, the classic Quake 3 style gameplay that Quake Live refined on, but, takes it to a different place with a focus on team modes. I think it's really well balanced around team modes, and I think that's important. I love team modes. I've played a lot of Duel, and I've probably played the most Duel in Diabotical, but I'm excited for a team mode focused future, and I'm really excited that the game has grown and improved so much since its launch. Okay, the developers have committed to 100 patches in 100 days. And so, so far we've seen lots of small tweaks and bug fixes. The netcode continues to evolve and improve, but not just small things. They implemented this whole new mode, Survival, which is like a wave-based survival mode, if you haven't been following along. That came out over Halloween. They've made improvements to the map editor, and they now support community maps in-game, which again, absolutely huge. Some of the most fun games I've played have been in the last few weeks since community maps have been available. Huge shout out to Tony Hawk's Diabotical. I think the map's called Bunker. The best Diabotical experience I've had so far has been on this map. It's hilarious. And of course, I couldn't talk about improvements without mentioning the complete queue overhaul that's come in, but I'll talk a bit more about that when I wrap up from Season 1 and talk about the future in Season 2. So definitely the highlights for Season 1 for me, it's been the really sweaty competitive stuff. We've run awesome tournaments in Australia. Huge shout outs to Kawachi Cups if you're an Australian or in New Zealand. Otherwise, OCE player, go join Kawachi Cups. They run all sorts of awesome events, and you may even get some of your games commentated by me. It's been cool. I've enjoyed not only commentating, but also playing in tournaments. Probably for the first time in 4 years, I've really sat down and actually played some tournaments and really, tried to get some half-decent results at least, to varied success. But, it's been a long time since I've really, played this many tournaments in a year, and it's great to be excited about doing that stuff again. Obviously, overseas, the tournaments are phenomenal. You've had the big test tournament series in Europe and North America. The 3v3 finals in North America, I caught a lot of live, and there were lots of great games. It's awesome seeing some teams pushing Team Liquid, but of course, Team Liquid, kind of stealing the show for me. They're a delight to watch, especially Rafa, absolute god gamer. He is just lifting to a crazy level. Similarly, the Europe finals, they were on actually shortly before I recorded this video. Really close games, right? The grand final for that was pretty crazy as well. I recommend checking it out. But it's not all about sweaty team modes. There's also been a mapping tournament, which is really cool, or a mapping competition. And the finalists of that have been announced. I'll show some cool footage of some of these awesome maps. I've played some of them, some of the finalists, and some of just the random maps people have made, like I mentioned, Bunker. I'm probably going to mention it again. It's so much fun. But yeah, go, especially the Duel maps, I think. They have a lot to offer, the Duel gameplay of Diabotical, because, I think there's a lot of improvement over the current map pool that can be made, and I think the community are definitely going to be there. It's so exciting to see Diabotical, finally embracing the potential that's been there since day one, and really letting this community content come to the fore. So the game's improving. They're fixing up lots of people's issues. I always love when people are complaining about something in Discord, and then while they're complaining about it, a patch drops that fixes the very thing they're talking about. Makes my day every single time. Firefrog and the other yet unnamed animal name developer, they're doing an incredible job. And it's exciting to know that, we've got, another year and a half of guaranteed support for this game. So when it comes to the future, Season 2 and beyond, and I think Season 2 is going to be a very important time. They've had their launch window to fiddle around with things and tweak things, but if the game doesn't find a way to really retain people and really start to grow, they are going to run into issues. Season 2 is a great opportunity for them to make refinements to, mainly, in my opinion, to the queuing system and the experience of actually getting into games. I'm Australian, and in Australia, we've been having a really hard time. On weekends, the game's dead, which is really weird. On weeknights, you can pop queues, I think because everyone kind of comes on at a certain time after work, usually. Whereas on weekends, the whole day, people don't know when to queue, like on a weekday, and so people queue at different times. It doesn't really work. Either you play organized pickups in Discord or you just don't bother, basically. So what they're looking at doing is, for one thing, making public lobbies a first-class citizen on the front page rather than, squirreled away in that third menu along in the old system. They're right there, and it's really cool. And already I'm seeing some awesome results with people just, being able to host Instagib on Bunker, like I was saying about, right? Like weird skate physics, PQL, and just play Instagib because they think it's fun. People can join in, people can play. It has that real community vibe in a really, really good way. But then having that alongside queues and having that alongside in-game pickups. I cannot stress enough how huge in-game pickups are. As it is right now, you've got to get on Discord. It relies on people knowing about, in Australia, the Kawachi Cups Discord. In other regions, I'm sure you have like your place to go as well. We've had some really great players, and you see them in public games. You're like, hey, join this Discord, please. You're really good. Come and actually play organized games and get involved and join a team and stuff. And some of those people don't want to do that. And now they're going to be using the same pickup system as everyone else because it's just built into the game. I've heard there are some teething issues with it, but especially when people don't show up for the pickups that they've kind of added to. But as long as they can find a way to deal with that, slap people on the wrist, penalize them, banish them from pickups, I don't know. But having pickups as, like, again, a first-class citizen in the game on that homepage, it brings all the different ways people want to play together in an exciting way, and will hopefully let people, hedge their bets in a way that means everyone gets to play the game more. And I really want to say, like, community modes where people can run a server with weird gravity and instagib and crouch sliding and double jump if they want it. Like, there are so many possibilities. There are so many weird variables in Diabotical that I haven't seen many people play with yet. I've seen some really crazy stuff already, though, where, like, people tweak the speed, the acceleration, so you have these weird bunny hopping maps, these wide open arenas, and people just zip around them really fast. Weird stuff like that, in my opinion, is part of the reason why people still play Quake 3 today. Okay, there are just so many weird servers and weird mods, and it's like instagib on frankly terrible community maps. Like, from my competitive analyst hat, these maps are terrible, but people find them fun, and people still spin up servers to play them with their friends, 20 years later. So like I said, I hope this brings everyone together onto this one page, and lets people, queue for a pickup while also playing casual instagib capture the flag somewhere. And I guess the overall thing, the main question that Diabotical needs to answer is how people are going to play their game, okay? Because the gameplay is really good, but the interface and the experience around it needs some refinement. They've made a really great first step to this already. Hopefully I can polish this up, and like I said, Season 2 is a great opportunity to show that, hey, this is how we've adapted to all the feedback we've gotten, start to retain some players, hopefully start to grow the player base. That would be so exciting, and that's what I'm really hoping to see. The big thing that I guess is missing from everything I've talked about here is this kind of oomph factor, right? This weapon feel, this sound especially, I think, it still just needs work, okay? And I believe that in a year and a half, they're going to, again, be able to make gradual improvements to it. The overall kind of polish layer on the game, I guess. Make it feel really satisfying to land those close-range rockets. Overall, probably tweak the way footsteps work a bit. It's a little bit janky in my opinion. But again, like I've said from day one, Diabotical respects its community a lot. They listen to people a lot, and I have every confidence that if there are problems that are really affecting people, they're going to make an honest effort to improve it over the next at least year and a half. I don't think there's too much more to say about the state of the game. Like I said, I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed with the state of the launch, but I think the latest change, especially to the queues, has given a lot of people confidence that the good studio are able to actually pivot and improve things in a really real way. I want to take a quick chance to say some thank yous. because this year has been really crazy. I've gotten a lot of support from people. I've gotten so many kind words from people. So in general, you know, a huge thanks to the broader Diabotical community. Like I said, people are always upvoting my stuff on the subreddit. It's always like right up the top. People are always leaving me nice comments and really, really kind words on my YouTube videos. Seriously, I've barely had a negative comment all year. It's been crazy. Thank you so much for the support. A huge shout out to Kawachi Cups for running amazing events in Australia. You know, those guys have been great. It's been great working with them. It's been awesome seeing Hamo come back to casting in Australia. Some of my earliest casting back in 2014 was with Hamo. He's got a great energy. He's really fun to work with. And I've been hoping he would come back for years, and he's finally done it. And it's been great. Huge thanks obviously to the Good Studio for making such an amazing game, and to Too Good. You know, he kind of reached out to me before the game even came out, and we talked about casting and stuff, and I got to do a test cast with GMT, with Joel, before the game came out. That was very validating for me, so huge shout outs to Too Good for having faith in me and for believing in me as a commentator. And again, shout outs to GMT, or aka Joel. Great to work with, great fun guy. Every time I've gotten to cast with him, it's been a delight. Big thanks as well to two of the other community content creators, Y2 Jake, making great videos. He sent me some stuff of his to review, which was really cool, and he had me on his podcast. I love it. Keep doing good work, Jake. Thanks to Heartthrob GG, again, making really cool videos, and he actually got in touch with me and helped give me some feedback for my stream audio, which, again, hugely appreciated. I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to audio, and I suspect it might show in this video. Back home in Australia, I probably couldn't be where I am this year as far as gameplay goes if it hadn't been for the help of Strull, Fishy, DCP, probably 2G Crib I've played quite a few games with as well and gotten some good feedback from, Bobicles, Rat Soup, Dutchman Donna. Those guys have all been fairly pivotal to how I play this year, either in helping me improve or just playing a bunch of games with me. Also Redgar, the man to grind with in Quake Live. Holy crap, I played so many games with Redgar. Man, and honestly, I could keep going. If I had unlimited time, I could list hundreds of names of really awesome community people who have been fairly key to how this year's gone for me. And it's been an amazing year. You know, last year especially, I think people probably noticed I wasn't doing that much, especially, you know, YouTube stuff, but casting in general, there just wasn't that much going on. I wasn't that excited about the state of Quake Champions. So it's been great to, you know, have loads of Quake Live happening this year, and then loads of Diabotical. I've been so excited about gaming again, which is really cool, and it's given me something to do with lockdown and all that horrible stuff. So yeah, this is going to be my last video that I'm recording for 2020, but I'm going to have some content come out in December as well. I've got some Quake Live content on the back burner, and a Quake 3 video, as well as some Shadowplay montages. I'm going to have a Quake Live one and a Diabotical one, because they turned out to be so long. I had so many Shadowplay clips that I had to split it in half. You know, it was going to be like 17 minutes long or something. So they're going to be a lot of fun. I hope people really enjoy them. They might be ready for Christmas. That might kind of be my Christmas gift to the world. My frags. Awesome. And next year, I'm hoping to come back and, you know, keep making videos, keep casting, of course. I want to try and be a bit more professional, right? I want to have more polish on my videos, do some high quality content, you know, talk to players, you dig into some classic Quake Live stuff that I really love, and hopefully have replays in Diabotical so that I can, again, drill into these games more, you know, record things from different angles and put together more structured videos, have game sound in my casts. That's the big one. I keep recording these videos through VLC with the game muted, just my voice, and you know, just people's VODs because there are no replays yet, and every time I get like 10 messages, where's the game sound? Well, replays are going to fix that. And all things going well, I'm going to have some new branding as well when I come back. So 2021 set to be a hopefully a much better year than 2020, with more Diabotical, more great times, more games. So yeah, I'm going to be pretty much away from my computer for the rest of the year. I'll be keeping my eye on YouTube comments and stuff, but you know, if you want to reach me, email is probably the best way. My email is in the description. Again, thanks everyone for making this an awesome year, and I'll see you in 2021.